this ruling?
This is a very significant ruling because it's the first of its kind. It's set a new precedent in terms of how we can deal with crimes against humanity. And also just because it's the first case in South Africa to deal with matters or issues pertaining to Zimbabwe.
Now, on what legal grounds would the plaintiffs seek litigation?
Well, it's a public interest matter, and the plaintiffs are victims of torture. So in terms of the South African domestic legislation, particularly the ICC Act, South Africa has a duty to investigate these crimes against humanity.
To what degree does this ruling open the door to civil litigation, for that matter?
Well, civil litigation would have to happen in a completely different forum because we're dealing with a criminal case in terms of the ICC Act, which only handles criminal jurisdiction.
Now, how practical is it, though, that South African police will investigate Zimbabwean authorities?
Well, what we have to remember is that the interest of justice is central to this, and that is the most important aspect. And we expect investigations to be conducted in South Africa, which is well within South African police capabilities. We're not expecting anyone to go into Zimbabwe or anything like that. All the investigations can happen here. The evidence can be weighed and tested here.
But what about the other side of the coin? They have to probably interview some of the government officials.
Perhaps, but that can happen at a later stage. What we're submitting is that there is sufficient evidence in South Africa for them to then make a decision as to how to proceed with investigations.
And what is that evidence that you're talking about?
Well, we have victims, we have witness testimonies, we have corroboration from medical experts, families, and further witness testimony.
Should the plaintiffs win this civil case, how would the ruling be enforced?
Well, at the moment, all we're saying is that an investigation must be initiated. And pending that, then perhaps prosecution. We can't jump the gun. We can't put the cart before the horse. So what will happen after that, it's difficult to speculate. But at this point, the crux of the matter is South Africa has a duty to investigate.
Now, can we expect, what can we expect really going forward and moving forward now? What is going to happen next?
Well, we expect the South African police to open a docket, a senior investigating officer to be appointed, and the matter to be thoroughly investigated.
And so says Angela Mdukuthi, the South African South African Litigation Centre spokesperson or Program Justice. Let me get that right. The International Criminal Justice Program at the South African Litigation Centre.
Well,
well done. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, right now it's time for your weather forecast with Philip Hawkins.